Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 329, and this is the launch of something new here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Yay! I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a new, not so much a new, we'll get to it in a minute. I'm so excited though. First off, I want to tell you, I'm taping this YouTube really early in the week. I just got back from Creativation in Arizona, and if you follow us on Facebook, and remember, you don't have to have a Facebook account to follow us. Our page is public. Just go to scrapbookingmadesimple.com, look in the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see a Facebook icon. You can click that. You can watch all the videos I did from Creativation. I did 18 different videos from Sizzix and Darkroom Door and Stampendous and Clear Snaps and Aladdin, and I was Ranger. I was everywhere and did videos from each of those manufacturers. And now I'm on my way to Germany. By the time you see this, I will already be in Germany. Actually, I will already have day one done. So I will be at Creative World and Paper World in Germany. And again, watch us on Facebook. You don't have to be a member of Facebook to watch us. Our page is public, so you can watch us without having to log in or anything like that. I'll be doing lives from all the places I find in Germany that make my heart happy. I'll be visiting a few of our normal manufacturers out of, from the rest of the world, like Ciao Bella, I'll be going to see, and there's just a whole list of them. But then I'm also looking for a brand new nugget, a little treasure that I hope to find, that the only way I would have found them is by going to Germany. And that's the best part. I get to see product from all over the world. There are manufacturers from Poland and Russia and Italy and the United Kingdom. All over the world there are manufacturers, the Netherlands, things that I would have never ever seen or been able to purchase had I not gone to Creative World and Paper World. So while I'm going and seeing old friends, manufacturers that we currently do business with, I'm also going to find new friends. Make new friends. I don't know if I'm allowed to sing that. That's the Girl Scout song. But I was a Girl Scout for years, so hopefully I don't get in trouble for singing that. YouTube has very strict rules about about music, so don't cut this YouTube off, okay? I was a Girl Scout, honest. All right, now today, winner chicken dinner. There is none. Because I'm taping this so early in the week, if we were to pick winners right now, it kind of would be unfair to those who are going to watch the YouTube a little bit later in the week, the last YouTube 328. So when I get back into my next YouTube, I will pick winners, we'll announce winners from 328 and 329 on the next YouTube. So I hope you understand it's just the right thing to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, today, oh my goodness gracious, today I have got a brand new, I don't even know what to call it. We're gonna do one SKU once a month. That's what we're gonna do. So how do I even start to explain it? Well, first off, you need to get in my head. I know, scary, right? Most of my best ideas come when I can't sleep at night, and that tends to be often. I'm usually up around 3 o'clock, and so my brain goes. Can you tell that my brain just kind of goes? People say they can actually see my thought process working, and so some of these ideas come at night, and in the morning I'll wake up and I'll look at Michael and I was like, I've got an idea, and the first thing he says is, no. Then I come into work and I get the SMS staff together and I say, I've got an idea. And they say, no. But it's too late. I already had the idea. So whether they like it or not, they get on board with me and we see it all the way out. I have thoughts, I have ideas. Usually what it means for them is, oh my gosh, is she going to move the entire store around? Do we have to rearrange the warehouse? What is it that, what is she thinking? And so, and manufacturers too will look at me like, no. I'll call them, I have an idea. And they'll be like, do we want to hear it or not? And it's like, of course you do. Yes, it'll be fabulous. Trust me. I was a Girl Scout, right? Trust me. So this idea came to me a little while ago, and I had been wanting to work on it, and things came up obviously that I couldn't, but now I can. And the concept was Simply Botanical. Simply Botanical, one set of dies and stamps, just one SKU, one set, die and stamp combination based around a botanicals, flowers and greenery and things of that nature, but just one set a month. And it had to be value priced. And I thought to myself, okay, Stacy, you obviously can manufacture this under your own brand, Simply Defined, and you could do this by yourself. But why don't we pair it with somebody? Why don't we partner with another manufacturer? And you may say, but why? Why didn't you just do it on your own? You could, and I can, that's true. But I also really believe that you need to support the people who supported you, and you need to do business with companies that have been around and help you get where you are. And there's lots of those companies for us. If all of a sudden I started to manufacture my own sequins and my own inks and my own pattern paper and my own brads and my own chipboard and what do they call those die cut packs that go with the paper. I never can pronounce it right. Ephemera. If I did all of those things, which we could, we have the connections, we can. But what does that say to the companies that have always been so good to us for the past 15 years? Hey, thanks, don't need you anymore, bye. So that doesn't work for us. So when I manufacture something under Simply Defined or Simply Refined, it's usually because it's either my design, and that's important, I have my own look and feel, or it's something that I couldn't find elsewhere, like somebody else didn't already manufacture it, so I had to go out and do it myself. For the most part, that's what we manufacture. Yes, I have my own adhesive because I use adhesive all the time, and I wanted an adhesive, a high-tack adhesive at a very low cost. I got that. Yes, we do dies and stamps under Simply Defined. Yes, I have card bases, but I wanted them 200-pound card bases, so I had to go out and manufacture those because those are not readily available here in the States. But when it came to this idea, I thought, who would I want to partner with? Who would I want to reach out to and say, I have an idea? So we've been doing business with Hero Arts for about a year. Hero Arts used to be in our store years and years ago, and they came back about a year ago. And they have been generous and kind and responsive and helpful and understanding, everything you would ever want when you're doing business with somebody. And I thought, you know what? I wonder if Kimberly and Aaron would go for this. So when Kimberly came out to my store before Creativation, she was out here a couple times, but I sat her down and I said, okay, I have an idea. What do you think? It's got to be a partnership between Scrapbooking Made Simple, me, and Hero Arts. And I want it for January. And time is a ticking. And bless their pea-picking hearts, when they heard my reasoning behind it and why I wanted this product, this combination, they said, we're all in. And that speaks volumes for them. They've been in business for almost 46 years. They're in their 45th year. And that's because they are a trusted, well-known company with integrity. And that just means the world to me. Not to mention that they make beautiful designs and beautiful product. So we brought out a partnership between Hero Arts and Scrapbooking Made Simple called Simply Botanical. One die and stamp set once a month for $14. I think it's $14.40. We're taking, for this month especially, we took a brand new die and stamp set that they have right now, but they're selling it separately. You can't buy it together. If you want just the die or just the stamp, if you want the combo, you got to buy 2 separate units, and the price is higher. So we brought in for January, just to get things going, something that is current and new and amazing. And we packaged it together, so we're the only place where you can buy it as a set, and at that price of $14.40. Now the sets that we're going to be bringing to you in the future, they're a little bit bigger than the set that we have now. And I said, Kimberly, the set is smaller than the rest of them. The rest of them are going to retail for like $25, $26, $27, but you're going to get it for the $14.40. This one is a little bit less than that in the value. She said, not a problem at all. We're going to do a value add. What's a value add? Well, that's retailer talk for free. Right? That's just retailer talk for we're going to give you something for free. And Hero Arts is going to do just that. Because I wanted to keep that value up to the $25 range, they're going to throw in a Hero Arts stencil. Now, they sent me a whole bunch of them. You're going to get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. But you're going to get a free Hero Arts stencil, which that's for this launch and this launch only. Next month, the set will be a little bit bigger, a little bit more expensive retail, but your price will always be $14.40. And that means those of you who are on a crafty budget, or those of you who are just starting to play, or those of you who want to buy your friend a lovely little gift because maybe they don't have a crafty budget. This is a way to get them something, or yourself something that you know is going to be beautiful because it comes from Hero Arts. Now there'll be a time where the collaboration on the designs will be the two of us. It'll be me and Hero Arts working together on the designs. But to get you started, we brought in something brand new. It just released. I don't know, not very many people have it, and nobody has it in the packaging and the set that we do. Now, mind you, this is a prototype on packaging. I mean, it is so new, it's literally taped together. We printed it out and taped it together. The product is in packaging right now, but you can see Simply Botanical with Hero Arts. I have to say thank you to them for trusting me and believing in me and knowing that I will only do my very, very best to teach people how to utilize these products so that we can keep crafting going, so that this hobby doesn't stop. They had to trust me. They had to believe in me. And the fact that they did just is sometimes overwhelming for me, because really, who am I? I'm just you. You and I, we're all the same, you know, we craft, we sit down, we have our coffee, we have kids, we have pets, if you're still lucky enough to have your parents, you've got a job. I'm exactly like you. And so the fact that they believed enough in me to do this with me at this type of a price so that I could do this for you makes my heart so happy. Really, it does. All right. So I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. And I'm going to start super easy doing something that many of you, most of you already know how to do. I'm going to be playing with Tombow markers and with the new set, the new Simply Botanical set that will release once a month. And it's only one SKU. It's limited. When we're sold out, we're sold out. Then I'm going to get it maybe a little more difficult to do something that either you've forgotten you could do or you've never seen it before. So stay with me. This isn't going to be a lengthy YouTube because I do have to catch a plane. Tick tock, tick tock. And my internal Stacy is saying, stop talking and just get to it. Maybe your internal voice is saying, yeah, Stacy, stop talking and just get to it. But then we wouldn't be having our morning coffee together, would we? It's not the same. So I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. Again, a huge thank you to Hero Arts for listening to me, hearing what I had to say, understanding my reasoning behind it, and then buying into it and saying, yeah, we think that this is a good idea. I really am a very, very lucky person. Truly I am. Okay, I'm gonna tilt on down and I'm gonna start for today. And I hope you enjoy it. Down we go, bye. I'm gonna zoom on in. And a little bit more. And I'm gonna tell you, okay, so on Saturday, by the time you're watching this, I will already be almost done with my first day at Creative World in Germany. But this is the make and take that's going to be going on downstairs. And the tulip, the butterfly, that's all part of the first Simply Botanical collection sold as a set. And the stencil behind it is one of the stencils that we have to ship to you. Don't know what stencil you're gonna get. We've got a whole bunch of them. They just shipped me a ton of Hero Art stencils, but that brings the value of this package up to, I think, $25.99, and your everyday price is $14 and I think 39 cents. Now next month it'll be a different set and it'll be a little bit bigger. The set, you'll get a few more stamps and a few more dies and they'll be a little bit bigger, but it will still remain $14.49. So if you're anywhere in Southern California, come join us. It won't be me. SMS girl Claire is hosting the make and take while I'm in Germany, but you too can make one of these. You'll be stenciling the background yourself. You'll be die cutting, and coloring. Die coloring. New term maybe? Hashtag die coloring. Okay. All right, so you can come in and die cut color and put this card together yourself. Now again, I said I was gonna start with something a little simple, and that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I've got the stamp set right here, and you do get the sentiments. There's different sentiments with it. You get the leaf, you get the smaller tulip, you get the larger tulip, you get the butterfly, and then you get the dies that coordinate. So it is a lovely set, and if you know Hero Arts, you know that this is gonna be $14.40 for a stamp and die set from Hero is a wonderful price. Now, I'm gonna start by playing with just some paper and my precision stamp press from Couture Creations. We have the stamp press, we still have it on sale. Andrew sent me the entire stock for the United States. He sent me the entire stock for the United States. So until he tells me I have to send them out to everybody else, I'm just gonna keep them at $19.99. Yeah, for a stamp press. Look at, and the little magnets. Eventually he's going to say that I have to stop selling it, but he hasn't yet, so I'm not saying anything. And being that I'm in Germany for a week, well, now, the stamp press is different than the current stamp presses on the market because you press down on it. It doesn't have a gush pad or anything like that here, and it's not needed. You also don't have to flip the plate based off of whether you're using a cling stamp or a clear stamp. Because it's a push down mechanism, it will take your cling, it will take your clear without having to flip your platform or change your platform. Love the little magnets with the little tabbies. Yes, they're making magnets with the little tabbies to sell all by themselves, absolutely. And then of course you've got on, I know I'm gonna drop that water, I just feel it. Then you've got on the side and the top, you know what, I'm gonna tilt back just a little bit, go back just a little bit. Okay, so the side and the top has a grid for placement. So, I don't know, can you hear it? It's got a ruler there. Yes, it's got a piece, stop there so that it doesn't slide off. It is open on all three sides, so if you're left-handed, right-handed, makes no difference. You can rotate your paper any way you want. It is really nice. The only thing that I would do different, if I could, and I can't because this has to be molded all as one piece, is I would have, if I could, I would have had the grid, the ruler, in a different color so you could see it. Can't do it. I can't do it. Ozzy Andrew can't do it. It would just increase the cost exponentially. It's not worth it. So my recommendation to you, and I'm going to use my finger so you guys can use something else, is that you take a permanent based ink. I've got my India ink from Hero Arts right now. A permanent based ink or an India ink, and you literally just rub it on. Why am I using an India ink or a permanent based ink? Well, if I used my Memento ink, it would just wipe right off. I want something to stay so I can see it. So there we go. Now you're gonna say that you got a little messy on there, Stacy. Just put this away, wipe my finger. You're gonna say you got a little messy on there on the top. And once it dries, that's not gonna move. It isn't. But if for some reason it really bothers you, having that little messy at the top, not on that straight line, if it really bothers you, because this is a permanent based ink, you know that alcohol is going to wipe it off. Let's see, is it dry? Not quite yet. Alcohol is going to wipe it right off. So I'm taking a little of my Marabou extender for my alcohol inks, because that's what I had right here. And I can just go in there and wipe it right off and clean it right up. So once it dries, it stays permanent. It doesn't move around, which is really nice. But if you ever wanted to take it off, you could take it off with your with alcohol or your blending solution from either Ranger or Marabou. And now you've got your stamp press. It's ready to go. And you can see your numbers. They're ready to go as well. So I'm going to start by using my India ink. And the reason why I'm using India ink is because it doesn't move with water. Your Memento ink also doesn't move with water. And today I'm going to start with just my 100-pound cardstock. So this is my Simply Defined 100-pound cardstock, and I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to take my tulip stamp, and I'm going to show you. Can you see that half of it is inked in black and half of it is not? The reason half of it is inked in black is because the girls used the India ink, and when they stamped it, it stains the stamp. Does that harm the stamp? No, it doesn't. But remember, it doesn't move with water. So if I wanted to clean my stamp, it isn't going to come off. I could ink and ink and ink all different colors, and that black is never going to come off. Some people really like putting an India ink or a permanent based ink like a StazOn on their stamps because it makes it very easy for them to see the lineup as opposed to it not. And since it doesn't hurt the stamp, no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my stamp. Oh, I got my fingers on it. I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp position up so that you can feel the ridges. No, Stacy, I'm not die cutting. Ridges down. Ridges down on my paper, wherever I want it to stamp. Ridges down, and then I'm going to close up my press. I'm not die cutting today. I'm going to put a stamp down, And now it's picked it up and it's in perfect alignment to where I want it. Okay, gonna be one of them YouTubes. I think I'm a little punchy from being at Creativation for 4 days and then getting ready to leave for Germany. Now I'm gonna take my India ink and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ink up the whole thing. So from here on out, my whole stamp is gonna have a black outline to it. That is perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna close it up and I'm gonna give a press. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and open it up. Oh no, I didn't quite get all of my stamped image there. What do I do? Well, that's the beauty of a stamp press. And I held out for a stamp press. I didn't carry everybody's stamp press. I really did hold out until the waters cleared and the sun shined and everybody was kumbaya again. And by that time, Couture Creations brought out their stamp press, which doesn't retail for $49.99, or, well, I don't know what it's going to retail for. We're not selling it for $49.99 or $39.99 or $29.99. Wait, there's more. No, it's only $19.99, and for a stamp press, you know that's a good price. And it is 8 by 6, so it's not tiny either. Let's give another press. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And lo and behold, there it is, perfect. The stamp lines right back up again. You press it down again. So if you get a little hole or a little place that isn't exactly perfect, that's what a stamp positioner is for. And so I love being able to offer you one for $19.99. And it even has my name on it because nobody's allowed to take mine. It's a great value in the world of stamp positioners. It truly is. So I've got it all done. I'm gonna take my paper and I think we'll start to color. I'm just gonna leave it in there for now because I'm gonna stamp again. Now coloring. We have my my Tombow. I'm using my Tombow markers. So this happens to be my exclusive set of my dual brush markers. And there's, I think, 108 Tombow markers now. 108. The ones that are in my set are ones that you can't get in any other set. And that's why we put it together. So these colors cannot be found in any other set except for mine. They sell for, I don't know, $2.65, I think is what we sell them for, something like that. Really inexpensive on the open stock. And then the kits are also always at a value price. Tombow markers have 2 nibs. They have a brush nib, which lets you do ooh, or it lets you do ooh, all with the same nib. Then they also have a bullet point, which lets you write, hey there. So, dual tip, brush and bullet. And having that brush is lovely because you really can do something really wide or you can draw something really narrow. I can even get narrower than that. Easy to use, effective, have been on the market for years. I know many of you already have them and we get comments all the time. I have had my Tombows for 15 years and they still are amazing. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to color with my Tombows. Now if you use the Tombow markers, I shouldn't have thrown that away. Come back, come back. If you use the Tombow markers just as a marker, you can. You can color with it just like a marker. Not a problem. You could draw a little happy face and color it in. Make yourself a flower. So when used like this, they're just a marker. But Tombows are so much more than just a marker. This isn't the only way you want to use them. Today we're going to go ahead and do some palette painting because that's an easy way to use Tombows and it gives you a whole bunch of colors. Your saturation in your colors can be varied all by how much water you use. So you're going to have a tone on tone on tone that matches perfectly because you're going to be using the exact same marker. So if it were me, it's not always me, but if it were me and I started with my yellow, because I like yellow and I think yellow's a really good base, and I grabbed some of my water and I took some of that yellow, not all of it, but I took some of that yellow and I really got it wet. I added a lot of water to it. Look at how light that yellow is. But then let's introduce some more color to that. Let's introduce a little more color to that. Now my shade is darker, and let's introduce some more color to that water. So I'm slowly adding more and more marker into my water to intensify the saturation of the color. So you can see how one marker gives you different saturations of the exact same hue. You don't have to spend a lot of money on markers when you have one marker that will do everything from a very, very pale yellow to a dark, almost to an orangey yellow, and it will do everything in between, all based on how much water you use. And you have water, and no, it doesn't have to be any kind of special water, just plain old tap water will do. So if I take some of my yellow and I add quite a bit of water to it, I'm going to add quite a bit of water to it. I really want to saturate that, or thin out that color, take that saturation way down. You will see that when I paint, I do this a lot. This is taking it off. This is taking a little extra water off my paintbrush. I want to keep my paintbrush wet, but I don't want it so wet that it overwhelms my paper. I am not using watercolor paper today. I am using basic 100-pound cardstock, whether it be mine or whoever's cardstock you use. I want you to see you don't have to have anything special to do this, but you do want to keep your paintbrush wet, but not overly wet so that the paper doesn't ball. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to put a very, very light coat of yellow down. And I mean, it's light. And that's all I want to do, just a very light coat of yellow. That's kind of like my base color. And I don't know that everybody does that in paper crafting or in watercoloring, whether they start with a base color or not. I just know that I like to do it because then if I've got a little bit of color down and I don't get the main color everywhere, it adds a little depth and dimension to my project without me working too hard. Now, let's see, let's use my red. And you can really see that red on my craft mat. See, like my craft mat, I manufactured my craft mat because I'm the only one out there that has got a non-stick and a non-slip. It's not a silicone top, it's a silicone bottom, but I had to have it because nobody else manufactured it. So I tried to find a company that had one, but nobody did, so I did it myself. Those are the times where I will go out and make something under my brand, is when I can't find it somewhere else. All right, now let's see if I can zoom on in just a little bit. Zoom, 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 zoom. No, up, 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 up. All right, so now I'm going to color. I've got a little bit of water in my red. You see me mixing that? I don't know if you do or not. There. See me mixing the water? There's my marker without any water. Here's my marker with water. And I can always test off to the side if that's the color I'm looking for. And then I can come in and just start to build some of that color up. Off with my paintbrush. And again, I am not a watercolor artist, so I just kind of go. So I've got some down. Now I might take my yellow and add some water. Come back in and maybe blend some of that. So that's where I'm at. And then I may want to add some more detail. So I'll pick up some of this red with almost no water. Almost no water at all. And I might come back in and draw some fine lines just to kind of add some more depth to it. And you see, I am just going. I am not thinking too hard about this. Don't sit there and struggle. Just play. It really is only paper, honest. And the beautiful thing is, paper has two sides. So if you don't like what you did, flip it over. I'm just adding a little bit of almost pure color to give some depth. It really shouldn't take very long to do. This is easy. Easy peasy, and I promise, even a newbie crafter, you can do this. I promise you. You sit down, you stamp a whole bunch of, all over again, just stamp, 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 stamp in a row, and start to play. And give yourself the freedom to make a mistake. And then try to fix your mistake. Okay, I think I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm not going to do any more to it, right? And then I've got my stem, so I'm going to wipe this up. I'm going to wipe this off. I've got my stem. I'm going to start with a super light green. Super, super light green. I'm going to add a lot of water to it. And I'm going to paint down, and I want it super light. I just want to add some base color. And you could absolutely leave some of this white if you wanted to have that negative space. But I mean, that's almost not even green anymore. It's just a super light color, because then I can build on that color. And that's what I like to do. I like to build on that color. So I've got a slightly darker green. Look at there, a slightly darker green. I'm going to come in with my water and pick that up and tap off. And paint some of that in there. So I'm starting to get that definition again. And now I might just take even a little bit of yellow maybe, because you never know. You don't know till you try. And if I don't like it, well, okay, I'll stamp again and try again. It's just paper, water, and markers that are going to last you a whole long time. Kind of like the yellow in there. And then let's do this green one more time. And by keeping my paintbrush almost dry, my paper is not balling all up and fuzzing out. Ooh, okay, for not being a painter artist, I'm okay with this. You can do this, I promise you. This is something that you can do. I didn't use anything. These are the markers I used. That's it. That's all I used. 4 markers. You would never know I used 4 markers. It looks beautiful, I think. And it was easy to do. So with 4 markers, I was able to get all those different shades and all those different hues and all those different saturations of the hues. And they're beautiful. Piece of cake. You have to remember that you need to use a paint or an ink, stamp with an ink that does not move with water. So an India ink does not move with water, and Memento does not move with water. You can't use a distress ink because distress ink is meant to move with water. You want to stay away from things like that. So if you're not sure, all you have to do is stamp with it. Put a little bit on paper, give it a second to dry, and then put some water over it. If it moves, no good. You need it to stay where it is. And then you're going to get something just lovely. That's all I used. 4 markers and some paper. Trim this out, mat this up. I don't have any matting paper here. Why don't? That's okay. You get the idea. Now, I said most of you already know how to do this, and that's true. I'm going to do something now that's a little bit different that maybe you knew how to do, but you forgot, or you've never seen it before. For that, I'm going to back up just a little bit again. You can tell we are highly unproduced because I have to push the backup button. And it was so nice. Somebody was in the store and she's like, "Oh, Stacy, the lighting is so good up in, when you do your YouTubes." And I'm like, that would be the fluorescent lights above. We don't have any kind of special lighting here. Although I really want one of those halo lights because they make your face look like you're I think they take 10 years off of you. I think everybody should have one of those lights in their home. That way you just look at it and it really does. Those halo lights, it makes you look like you lost weight and 10 years younger. Although I do appreciate my wrinkles. My children gave them to me and they were well earned, and so I guess I'm okay with my wrinkles. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna bring back my stamp. And again, I've got my main tulip on there and I'm gonna wipe it down just to be sure. Now you remember, don't worry, that black, it's stained on there from the India ink. Memento will not stain it. Memento, it will be able to wipe right off. But again, a lot of people like that it stains it because it makes the outline very easy to see. Unlike, oh, they did all of these. Oh yeah, that one's done. Oh, this one's not. So there's the butterfly, where you can't really discern where the detail is because it hasn't been stamped in an India ink or a permanent ink, versus the tulip. Now, if I was to take that butterfly and stamp it, and then wipe it off. Now you can clearly see the detail of that butterfly. And maybe that works better for you, being able to see the detail on the stamp. Either way, it's up to you. No harm, no foul. I'm gonna bring over 2 pieces of paper. Plain old cardstock. Oh, well then I'll just do one, because then I'll restamp again. And I'm gonna put my stamp down with the ridges against my paper, because then I'm gonna close it on up, press down, open it up, and my stamp, well, now I moved my things. Gosh darn it. All right, let's put it down. 1, 2. Okay, let's line it on up again. Close, press, open. Do I need to put it harder on there? Let's get my magnets really on. 1, 2, there we go. But now my paper's, well, you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup Stacy. Live with it. Line it up. Make sure my magnets are on there good. There we go. Much better. So, tip. Make sure your magnets are all the way on your paper. Tip, make sure your magnets are all the way on. And now I'm lined up. This time, however, I'm going to ink up my tulip a little differently. Instead of taking my black ink, I'm going to take a super, super, super light marker. And I'm going to ink up. I'm just going to, now you see the point, this is really important. See the point of the marker? I am not going to color my stamp with my point. I'm going to color my stamp with the side of my stamp. Never color your stamp with the point. You want to keep that point as pristine as you can, because when you want to do something fine, do you see how fine that is? When you want to do something fine, if your point has been mushed, you're not going to get nice and fine. That's why you have the side of your marker. And I'm going to use a super light color, and I'm going to color my tulip, just the tulip head. Just the flowery part. Then I'm going to grab a super light green, and using the side of it, I'm just going to do the leaf and the stem. Then I'm gonna come on over. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. I'm gonna pull up, and I'm gonna see that I've got my image. Now you're gonna say to me, Stacy, that's not a very good image. And I'm gonna say, well, I could restamp it again, but that's actually kind of close to what I'm looking for. I don't want it to be so, the lines so defined. Now, I said I was going to play with watercolor paper, or show you watercolor paper, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to bring this one over. I'm going to grab a piece of Strathmore. That would be the second set of sirens for the day, in case you weren't counting. And I'm going to put my Strathmore watercolor paper down, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, with the side of my paper, or the side of my pen, get my pink on there, and then with my green, get my green on there, and then I'm going to close it up. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Now that is a little light. I may want to do a little darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more. press again. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. That's better. So now I've got it on white paper, cardstock, watercolor paper. Why did I do it so light and in those colors? My goal is to almost have those lines fade away and disappear so you don't have that black outline, so it looks like you literally painted the tulip. And to do that, you have to use ink other than black, and you have to use a tone that you're going to use to color. If I was going to do pinks and purples or purples, I may have started and colored my tulip head with this purple, then came back in and painted with this purple. I just need a nice kind of a soft outline of where those petals are or where that stem is so I can go in and paint. Now, I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to do some yellow. Get my yellow. Get my paintbrush. Get my yellow really wet. Kind of tap off and go in there. Oh, that's really light. Go in there and add some color. Softly. I'm just adding a very soft yellow. And I just kind of zhuzhed all over. And let's go ahead and let's go back on in. So hopefully you can see when I'm painting. So, soft yellow, just as a base, and that's just me. Everybody has their way of painting. I like to have a little bit of a base color down. Then, I'm going to take and bring over that red. Ooh, maybe the pink. How about the hot pink? And start adding some water to some of my pink. And saturating, toning down that saturation. Now, if I wanted to see what color my pink is, all I have to do is put it on my card because I have the die to cut this out. So I can now go in and just start laying down some of that color. I even want it lighter than that. Just start laying down some of that color. I want to see the lines kind of, but not totally. I want them to almost blend away. So now I've added another layer of color. And it looks okay. But then I can continue to bring in more of that pink. To give me that high and low and saturated and intense color. To make the shadows and the shading kind of follow around the outside of the edges of where it's stamped. So those stamped lines kind of disappear in a watercolor look. Now I think I'm going to bring back some more yellow. And add my water to my yellow. And go back in and throw some yellow over the top again. I'm not looking for perfection, I'm looking for watercolor. I don't know if I'm crazy about this one. I'm kind of mixed. Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this one. Meh, let's try again. See? It's about playing and giving yourself the permission to do that. So I'm gonna start with my light pink again. I'm gonna bring over my paper. I'm gonna make sure that my magnets are on it. I'm gonna put some light pink down again. I'm gonna make sure my green is on there. I'm gonna stamp. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, pull up. A little bit in there, but I think I'm gonna leave it. And I'm gonna try again, because it may not be perfect the first time you do it. It's about playing and trial and error. And you know, I think I'm also gonna switch my brush. I think I'm gonna go to maybe a slightly thinner brush. Oh, but I've got only really thin. Well, maybe not. Well, maybe I'll keep the really thin one for the detail. And this time, maybe I start with the pink and I lay down a coat of pink. And I add make sure that I'm happy with my color. Oh yeah, that's really light. Go in and just add a little bit of pink to the whole thing. A little bit of pink to the whole thing. Maybe just a touch of yellow. You're like, stop with the yellow. That's what ruined it. I don't know. A little bit of yellow for a little bit of depth. And then my, okay, we're gonna try with the dark pink again. Only this time I'm gonna use the smaller paintbrush, a much smaller paintbrush, to pick up, some of that pink. I feel like it's not quite. There we go, pick up some of that pink. Go in. Oh yeah, that's better. Lighter, much lighter. Oh, so much better. Smaller paintbrush, much better. Oh yeah, so much better. Way, way better. Much smaller paintbrush. And then what if I went in and picked up some of that really intense pink that has almost no water in it? Oh my gosh, this is so much better. I think I'm almost done. Do a little bit of the tips. Oh, way better. Getting there. So much better. So much better. Much smaller paintbrush. And if I wanted to, I could pull some of that yellow back in. Ooh, that's really yellow. Too much yellow. But it is what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and embrace it. Oh, that was off camera, I bet. Sorry about that. I got a little carried away in my own self. Painting. Let me back it up a little. Oops. That doesn't happen very often. And then I could go in with my green. Just add my green and go very soft. Lots of water. And then I could make my green a little darker using the same green. A little bit less water. Just to get some depth going. And just, I mean, it's soft and subtle and beautiful without having, actually, now that I'm looking at that one, it's not as bad as I thought it was. See, you step away for 10 minutes and all of a sudden it's like, oh, actually that one's not so bad. I probably should have kept that one. Now that I'm looking at it, I actually like it a lot. See, even I do that. You step away from something that's like, ooh, that's pretty. But look at how soft and subtle that is. And I mean, you may want the black lines to really define it, or you may want something a little bit softer. And the way to achieve that is simple. You just ink up your stamp. Instead of using a stamp pad, use your markers, and you start with the lightest color you can, because then as you're painting over it, that color kind of blends in and disappears, and you can see the difference in how subtle versus a little more defined. And it's your decision. Maybe sometimes you want it this way, and maybe sometimes you want it this way. But if you've ever seen the beautiful watercoloring and you're like, how did they do that? Well, they started with a very light color underneath. And since we don't hand draw, we stamp, the best way to do that is to start with a very soft color to stamp with, and then work your way back in with a darker color, and you tone it with your water. So for this one, I used 1, 2, 3, 4 markers. There's the 4 that I used to create that. You can do this. And if it stinks, put it aside and come back to it 10 minutes later. And you're like, hey, maybe that doesn't stink as much as I thought it did. Maybe I should finish that. But I want to talk to you about watercolor paper, because remember, I have that right here. This is watercolor paper. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab my light pink and I'm going to put some light pink down. Oh, it's light pink, light pink, so I'm not going to see it. Light pink down. And I'm going to pick up my bigger paintbrush, and I'm going to get some water in there and make it a super light pink, just like I did. I'm doing the exact same steps that I did here and the exact same steps that I did here. I haven't changed a thing. Then I'm going to tap off some of my water, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to lay that color down. So I've got my super light pink. Then I'm going to come back in with my darker pink, and let's add some water to that. And tap off. Oh, let's use this. Well, no. And use a little darker pink. Now, the issue you're going to have with watercolor paper is that because it's on the watercolor paper, eventually you're going to go ahead and add enough water that your lines literally disappear. I mean, like, you have nothing left. I could actually erase my lines to where they're so faint you almost, coloring with them becomes very difficult. So this is a time where watercolor paper isn't necessarily your friend, because you're wanting to move. You want that color underneath so you can see where it is you're adding, but you don't want that color underneath to necessarily move. You kind of want it to blend in, but not fade away. And if I were to take water and put it all over my green on my paper, you can see it's not fading away like it did on watercolor paper. So using the right paper, sometimes you absolutely want a watercolor paper because you want these paints to move and flow and blend. And sometimes you need those paints to stay where they are until you come in to start painting with them. That's important. It's important to know when to use watercolor paper and when not to use watercolor paper. And this would not be the time. So if I came back in and I brought my paper over, and I put my magnets on, and I used a very soft, my yellow softly. This isn't my softest yellow that I've got. Let's just See if I can get some soft yellow on there and a soft green. And then I close and I 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And I pull up. Ah, Stacy. Nope, not enough. And now I've moved it. Turn it over. Magnet. Magnet. No, that's too dark. Holy smokes. Soft yellow with the side. Soft green. Okay. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. A little bit more, but that's dark. One, two, three, A, B, C. There we go. It's a little darker than I wanted, but we're gonna go with it. Take my yellow, scribble, scribble, little water, tone that down, check my color, make sure I'm happy with it because I have the die to die cut it. I'm going to go in there and add a little tone of this everywhere. Ooh, lots of water. Soft, soft, soft. And then let's play with the red. And with the red, I'm going to go ahead and change to a much smaller paintbrush. Lots of water. Lots of water. Tap off. So there I am. And then I'm going to add a little bit darker red, kind of to my sides. And get that real watercolory look, like it was hand drawn. Nobody needs to know the truth, that you didn't sit there and hand draw your tulip. I will not tell. Kind of blend it. A little water. And in no time at all, bam, we're done. We're good. And then we can take it and die cut. So I can bring my Big Shot machine over, whether it's a Big Shot machine or a Platinum machine, or this is a wafer thin die, so you can use your Grand Caliber machine or your Gemini machine. I've got my, I'm going to tilt back just a little bit. I've got my Big Shot machine. I've got a magnetic platform just because it makes life easier. I've got my die. I've got my colored tulip. And I'm going to send it on through. Send it on through. 1, 2, 3, ABC, all the way through. Easy peasy. So this is a die cutting machine. This is the Sizzix Big Shot machine. It's the workhorse of the industry. And what it does is then it die cuts out your lovely little tulip. And then you're good to add it in. So do you like your tulips more with the black? Or do you like it a little softer where that background, the lines fade into the painting? Your decision. But because you've got the dies, remember, your machine is going to come with a base plate and a shim. That's what comes with your machine. You don't have to have the magnetic platform, and it does not come with your machine. You would use your base plate and your shim together. You'd put down a cut plate. You'd put down your paper, your die. See, the nice thing about a magnetic platform is now it doesn't move. So there's very little opportunity for your die to do like that, to slip. Not necessary. You can absolutely use the platforms that come with your machine. Put on your top plate, because you always sandwich between two. And then send it on its way. Sandwich, sandwich, sandwich. And send. And because these are open frame dies, which means I can stick my fingers through them, they're not intricate at all. It's a one roll. You don't have to do anything more than that. It's going to cut through that piece of paper easy peasy. You know, actually now I think I like this one better. Oh, Stacy. This was the one I swore I didn't like. But now I'm thinking I like it better. And we start. Y'all can do this, honest, I promise. But two different looks. Two entirely different looks. It's your choice. You can do both. You've got options. That's a wahoo kachoo, right? Okay. So I thought this wasn't going to be long, and it turned out to be long after all. I can't be live chatting with you, I don't think, because I'm in Germany somewhere at some point. But I do want to show you the set that is under Simply Botanical. It's a once-a-month set. This is the first set that we're doing. We do have different stencils. I know one of the stencils that you could get is this one. I know one of the stencils you might be able to get is this one. Hero Arts is throwing in a free stencil with the launch of the bundle. And it's $14 and I want to say 39 cents. I think that's what it is. It's a partnership between Simply Defined, Simply Scrapbooking Made Simple, now Simply Botanical, and Hero Arts. And I am so thankful that they allowed me to do this, because I think that a good majority of you are going to say, okay, that's something that I can afford. That's something that I want. That's something that I can utilize. And because it's all around botanicals, trust me, it's not all flowers. I've got more coming. Yes, I do. I do. Now, what do we have on sale? Well, obviously we've got the botanicals on sale. We'll put Tombow markers on sale. We've got the stamp press that's still $19.99 until Aussie Andrew tells me that it's time for me to send them on to everybody else in the United States. Sorry guys, I've got them. And we also have the shop box stamps and dies that were from Hero Arts. So Hero Arts every year does something called a shop box, and we bought into that. I'm going to show you those first because they will also be 20% off. So to give you an idea, here's the stamp set. Here's the die set. It is $27.98. Now it'll be 20% off. It will, and there's more to it. But $14.40, that's a wahoo kachoo. So I want to show you the samples, and then they've got the cute little background to go with it. And then the samples that they did, wishing you a fresh start. Is that so cute? Okay, I gotta tilt up and move that out of my way. There we go. Wishing you a fresh start. using the background and the die and stamp set. Cute product. When life gives you lemons, make a lemon tart. Super cute product. Then from Shopbox, we have this stunner of a die for $11.99. When it cuts out, all the windows fall out, all the pieces stay in. It does not cut all the way out. It's a die that cuts into. So pretty. And the sample is here. Beautiful. So $11.99 and then on sale 20% off. $11.99, $14.40. And now they're going to kill me. Here we have a $15.99 stamp set from Shopbox, Hero Arts Shopbox, and here's the sample. And then we have their little peekaboos. So there's a die that cuts all of these cute little windows. And on top, they stamped, here's the whole set. So you get the background and then you get all the little icons to put behind your little peekaboo windows. So whoever gets the card, they get to open up all the little windows. So they did this one. And then they did all the little windows. How cute is that, right? Okay, then we have another die that's part of Shopbox. We have a cute little happy and congrats set that's part of Shopbox. We have the watering can that's part of Shopbox. And we have a stencil for $7.99. Now remember, you're going to get a stencil for free, not this one, but they've sent me a whole bunch of them to send them to you when you place your order for the first Simply Botanical. All right, now let me show you samples for Simply Botanical. Ha 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 ha. Let's bring them on over. So we have here cute, right? So soft and so pretty. Lots of negative space. Beautiful. All done with the first Simply Botanical set. Now this was done with one of the stencils that you might get for free, as was this one. This was just done with one of the stencils you might get for free. And this card uses the butterfly and the sentiment, one of the sentiments that you get. So no tulips at all, just the butterfly and the sentiment. And here we've embossed and painted with metallics. Lovely, right? And then we have Happy Birthday. And again, this was done with, this was embossed, Versamark embossing powder using one of the stencils that you may receive. So I want to say there's 6 or 7 different styles of stencils that they've sent me, and you kind of get what you get. But it's free. So vibrant. So pretty. Look at that, is that gorgeous? So these are all done with the first launch of Simply Botanical, which is a partnership between Scrapbooking Made Simple and Hero Arts. And here's our launch. Once a month, one set, same price every month, limited quantities, and not available anywhere else. Not bundled like this for that price. All right, I'm gonna tilt on up. Oh, Claire, I almost forgot. Claire's layout, shoot, good thing I remembered. So she used one of the stencils. She's got the tulips here, she's got the tulips here, and then she used the stencil to go all the way across her layout. Hello, Claire, I did not forget. And then she used my must-haves here, and she just did a beautiful job. So this is Claire. All right, now I'm gonna tilt up. And I'm gonna say, holy smokes, artichokes. Let's go back. Where are you gonna get all of this great product? Well, you may already have Tombow markers. Yes, and your local retailer may have Tombow markers, and if they do, by all means, shop there. You may already have 100-pound paper. Your local retailer, mom and pop shop, may have 100-pound paper white. Go shop there. However, for the Simply Botanical, you're going to have to shop with us. So we did it as a value product. We want to have everybody have the opportunity to create and enjoy at a price that they can afford. And if you know that every month that there's an item coming out that's going to be beautiful, because you know Hero Arts designs beautiful things, and hopefully you think I design beautiful things, we're going to make this partnership work. And we're hoping that this is that right now we've got 6 months worth of designs already done, 6 months worth of bundles already ready to go that I know are coming, and I'm hoping that it's so successful that we get another 6 months. So, all right, you guys, I want to say it's me, Stacy, from Scrapbooking Made Simple. Where are you going to get all of this great product? You're going to get it at scrapbookingmadesimple.com or your local retailer for the items that they do carry. And I am in Germany right now at Creative World and Paper World. And if you follow us on Facebook, even if you're not a Facebook user, go follow us. Come see all the fabulous things I'm looking at and hopefully buying. All right, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I will see you when I'm back from Germany. Bye.